I opened up my first business ever 6 years ago, and it wasn't until year 4 of being in my business career that I actually ever become profitable for the first time ever. And in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. Now, this is specifically for service businesses. I had a service business. It was carpet cleaning, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how I did. Okay, so first things first, I need to get customers from the very beginning so I can start to have some cash. So what I did was I bought $1,000 worth of equipment, so I was already in the negative. That way I could just start getting results. From there, to learn the equipment, I then started to work for people I knew for free, like my closest friends and family. Be like, hey, I'll clean your carpets for free, right? So I then got before and after pictures. So I already had some social proof. Then from there, what I did was I reached out to everyone in my contacts on my phone, then on things like Facebook and Instagram, and said, hey, name, do you know anyone looking for carpet cleaning services? Then from there, they would then say, oh, yeah, actually I do. I'm like, perfect, send them my way. I then got a customer that way. They'd be like, oh, yeah, actually, I'm looking for carpet cleaning services. Can you clean my carpets for me? And just by doing that, I think I reached out to about 1,000 people, and I ended up getting 5 customers just from people I already knew. And from doing that, I was able to break even on my cost of equipment because I made about $1,000 just from working with friends and family. So at this point, I'm like, okay, well, now I'm in the waiting game because now I have to wait for more referrals. I have to wait for more people to recommend me. So in the meantime, I need a way to get more customers. So what I did was, I'm like, okay, let me run ads. So what I did was I started off with Facebook ads. I love Facebook and Instagram ads. So all I did was I had a headline, and then from there, I then had an image. Now this image was a before and after photo. So what I did, and then there was a CTA. So for the headline, I just used the offer. I think at the time, I'm not sure if this would be much of an offer, but I thought it was. So at the time, I called it free estimate. That's literally all it said. I ended up split testing it, ended up figuring out what was the best, but I don't remember. This was a while ago. Then from there, the image was the before and after. So I got the grossest carpet I could find of the ones that I cleaned. I had the before picture of it like being like all dirty, and then the after where it looks like brand new. That's what I use for the before and after picture. This is so powerful because it gives people social proof, and it shows that I actually know what I'm doing and I do a good job. And then from there, the CTA was then basically, hey, click the button to get a free estimate. And then from there, I then sent people to a lead form.
Hey, sorry to interrupt the YouTube video, but if you go down below in the description, there's going to be a link to this Google Doc where I walk you through exactly how I grew my service business, and it's absolutely free. There is no catch, there is no gimmicks. I just go over everything to give you the most value possible, and I send you the resources so you can succeed. So back to the video.
And on here, it's super basic. All I asked for was their name, email, and phone number. And that was it. That was literally all I asked. So they get sent from the ad, they then get sent here. Now this is probably one of the most important parts. When it comes to this, there's 2 different kinds of lead forms, for at least the ones I'm aware of. You can have your own website or a landing page, if you call it, whatever you want to call it. And then we then have Facebook's instant forms. Now, the reason why I love instant forms so much, what are instant forms? Instant forms are, it's a built-in landing page on Facebook. So it keeps people in the app. So and the best part is it automatically auto-populates their name, email, and phone number. Because this is the reality. The more resistance there is, the less likely people are to do what you want them to do. So I had an instant form, so people automatically, their name, email, and phone number was filled in. All they had to do was press a button, and they would then send their information to me and said, okay, wait 5 to 10, 15 minutes, and someone will reach out to you. Now, at this time, I was in high school, so I couldn't just sit around all day waiting for people to call me. So what I did was I set up something called Zapier, which is just an automation tool. And then whenever people opted into the form, I then got a text message from Zapier saying, hey, Sarah just opted in, here's her information, call her. And then from there, that's exactly what I did. That was the third step. This was a simplest funnel I've ever had. And I then had a sales call. And on the sales call, all I did was I just basically sold the carpet cleaning services. And that was literally it. I had an ad followed by a place for people to enter in their information, and then I had a sales call. Now, let me tell you, at this point, I had no idea, absolutely zero clue how to sell. So basically what ended up happening was this worked for a long time until it didn't. Because what happened was my CAC, that just means my customer acquisition cost. That's basically just the cost to get a customer. Skyrocketed. Basically, it used to be $100 for me to get one customer, and then from there, it then ended up then my average job was $200. So I was making about $50 in profit per job. Not too bad, $50 an hour for some kid. But then what happened was my customer acquisition costs skyrocketed overnight for whatever reason. The ad stopped performing, and basically I tried to fix it. But what I realized is the real reason why I'm struggling is because I suck at sales. I never knew how to sell. And that's exactly why I ended up getting the door-to-door sales. Because this was working amazingly until it didn't. Now, when it comes to nurturing the leads, this is what I did. So after someone got past the sales call, I then had follow-up. So there's like some basic follow-up sequence. I think I used ChatGPT to create the messages. And then I was using some software to automatically send the people that opted in but didn't buy just warm-ups. Then from there, after every time I did a job, I then had an email sequence that was then sent to the person that just got the job done, basically like, hey, welcome to the family. And then from there, I would then send them a letter in the mail, a handwritten letter saying thank you. And then I had an email list where every single time after I do a job, I would then basically just tell people, like, this is what I did, look at the before and after. Because the idea was being, if I can keep people engaged, they'll start to believe in it eventually, and these people that didn't actually end up buying from me will come around eventually. So that was pretty much all I did. But like I said, this worked until this didn't. Like my lead costs basically the problem was my lead costs went up and I didn't know how to close, which is exactly why I got into sales. So this is also the moral of the story. This works amazing. This works extremely well. And one day I'm going to use the same exact funnel again to make a shit ton of money. But in the meantime, you have to focus on getting the skills. Don't just rush in it. I would highly encourage you. The one thing I learned is don't just rush into opening up a business. You want to learn to get the foundational skills. Like really learn how to sell. Because I'm telling you, no matter what business it is, you're going to have to learn how to sell your product here or there. So I hope you found this helpful. I promise you, well, not promise you, but I have much faith that if you follow this format, it will work. Now, also you got to keep in mind, figuring out how to make a good ad takes time. Figuring out the landing page is like a no-brainer. But really, these two parts, the sales call, hands down, is the most important part. Because it doesn't matter how high your lead cost is, if you can close, you will make money. But this was really the problem, was this part. I never knew how to fix this part. So this worked well, but I bet you, if I had to guess now, probably the main problem was the headline. The offer kind of sucked. It really wasn't enticing. But this is what I use, and